All right. So today we're going to talk about Mark, and he is an excited learner, but he struggles in the regular classroom. So we're here to collaborate to make him an instructional guide to help him succeed better in all of our classrooms.
Okay.
So for environmental, curricular, and instructional classroom demands, what do you guys see in your classroom?
So one thing that as a science teacher I see is a need for hands-on or ability to do hands-on activities because
that would be in like the check for areas of student success.
So I know that like he would do well in that sort of thing because he does well in PE and art and things like that, and those are very hands-on. But just in our environment, like whether he's good at it or not, he's gonna need to do it. I feel like just because that's how the class is set up. It's very lab-based. Another thing is like group work. That's important too because they're going to be in groups. So that's one of the demands he would have to.
Okay. Are you still there?
Yes. Sorry, it was cutting out there.
Okay. In my music classroom, we're doing stuff with like rhythm sticks and xylophones, and so there needs to be order in the classroom, or else things get too crazy for instruction. And I don't have a ton of extra time to teach like behavioral stuff to the whole class because we only meet once every 6 days for only 40 minutes. So we have limited time to like adjust for behavior.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. For the science class, I guess they're just high behavioral expectations.
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't know about in your science class, but in my science class, you know, we want no goofing around because of all the science that we're doing, and then we want them to stay on task so they can learn what they're doing. That's a little bit of a challenge with him, but
So I think that those are the majority of the environmental, curricular, and instructional classroom demands.
Jessica, I'm having a hard time hearing you.
I'm sorry. Is this better?
Yes, that's
Okay.
much better. Also, something else that I wrote down for mine was that like materials need to be handled and properly used. So Okay, what strengths do you guys see in Mark?
So I guess starting off, his best subjects already are PE and art. And so that might mean that he's like a kinesthetic or a visual learner, maybe.
I agree. He did good because it's like a hands-on. There's lots of movement and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, they were saying that his parents were saying like he likes to learn, but he likes doing things that he's interested in doing.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe if we like incorporate art with math or reading, just to like incorporate those little like hands-on activities, then he'll do better.
I agree.
I'm just gonna paste what I have. He said he's like very creative. Like he comes up with like interesting ways to solve math problems that are ultimately correct, even though it's not what is usually taught. And it was saying that he struggled in kindergarten and first grade, but this year he like really wants to do well. And when he was starting to understand something, he was excited. So that's good that he's like enthusiastic about learning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some needs I saw is that he was disruptive during any large group and individual. He can't stay on task in a large group because there's too much going on in individual instruction. He it just doesn't do well with them structured. I think there needs to be there needs to be stuff for him to be doing individual instruction for him. Reading and memorable lessons. So. Areas of student success. And we already said hands-on activities, which I think will be a big one with him. Anything that we can get that's hands-on, or has movement, like with PE.
And the case study talked about how he had some success when he worked like one-on-one with his siblings. So maybe some like one-on-one instruction or special help or something like that. Because
I even said in my instructional guide for the one-on-one, like to have like an aide in the classroom or something to like work one-on-one with him.
Yeah, I think that would be really helpful for him if that's available. I know some schools don't have enough aides to get them in the classrooms like that, but if even for like an hour or two a day, I think that would really help him be able to succeed in the classroom, like transitioning from he didn't like it at all to second grade where he still needs help.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Another thing I said was that if there was activities where he had to like create or invent, for me it was create and invent songs or unique ways to play the instruments we're handling, but I think that could be applied to science, like create or invent inventions, figure out a new lab, stuff like that.
Well, in general, he's creative, so you can just say something along the lines of creativity is one of his potential areas of success.
Yes. And that was even just like seen in the description of his case study when he would learn something new and then he would try to kind of create his own way of explaining it, and of course it would be wrong, but he would still try.
Yeah, that's right. And then they were saying that sometimes in the case study, his mom was saying that sometimes he didn't understand things, but as soon as he understood, he could tell you, he could repeat it back to you like word for word. Like he's a smart kid.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know if we want to put that in there, but
Do you want to go ahead and type that? Because I'm not sure exactly how to say that.
yeah, that's why I was like, I don't know if we want to add it. Are we ready to move on to the potential problem areas?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
So one main thing that I thought of, at least in the science classroom, is that he might have some behavioral issues just because it is hard for him to stay on task. And since it's such a demanding environment, because you can't be off task and around all of these scientific materials and things like that, it could be dangerous. So that might be something that could be a potential problem area for him.
Okay. In general, I feel like he's gonna get distracted during instructional time, especially if it's to the whole group, because he doesn't have the one-on-one attention. And so if he's not engaged in something, he's probably gonna start having the behavioral issues that you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it kind of sounded like in kindergarten, he was never really taught how to stay on task. So does he actually know how to stay on task? Like, is that something that he knows how to do?
I don't know.
Good question.
Because I mean, that could be a potential problem that he actually doesn't know how to do that.
Okay.
That's true.
I think you're probably right, because it sounded like they're kind of just like, oh, he just needs to figure it out how to be adapted to the classroom.
And another thing that we could add maybe is initial comprehension, because it takes him a while to actually grasp different concepts and things like that. Of course, when he does know them, then he can do well, but it takes him a while to get to that point.
Yeah.
And then anything with math, and then anything, I feel like reading instructions, I feel like that would be important in my class, and then important in your class too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially doing labs, so he's gonna be able to read the instructions.
Because it kind of sounded like it just wasn't something that he was interested in. And like I said before, well, like it said in the case study, he's not really interested in things unless it applies to him in some way, or it's hands-on or something.
Oh, and then the other thing was he was saying that when he got corrected too much, he turned away from it. So I put that he turns away from opposition. So if he's getting reprimanded harshly every time, I don't think that's gonna help anything, because he's just gonna shut down.
Well, that might be Oh no, I forgot what I was gonna say. Maybe because he is a creative person, he has that creative mind, and so if someone corrects him, he doesn't necessarily like his own creative work to be corrected.
Alright, I feel like we have a pretty good like idea of what we need to adapt in the classroom. So let's brainstorm some ideas on what we can actually change.
I think it's solid.
So, yeah, hands-on experiences for sure.
I think teaching him to stay on task is a really good idea. And then making sure that if he's in like a small group or like independent working, he knows what to do.
Okay, yeah. So,
Like teach how to stay on task and then create engaging tasks.
oh yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I don't know if they want to do like weekly team meetings, because like in his new school they had like all of the second grade met as a team. So I don't know if they all want to work as a team and like determine how to work in mark terms, because they all teach, the different subjects. So they're all teaching them.
I don't know if it'd be possible like teach in mark terms because it feels like his ideas are like really, really different. But I feel like they could try and understand what he's saying instead of like just being like that's wrong.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Otherwise, he's gonna shut down and feel very discouraged about what's going on. Well, because I don't know, they could probably understand in mark terms. And then when it comes to instructional time and he needs that extra help, then they can do a little one-on-one and be like, this is what I'm saying, and then he'll understand.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just kind of along with that, just like exercising patience when it comes to like his learning pace, because it'll probably take him longer to grasp different concepts. So patience is kind of necessary.
I agree.
I think providing opportunities for him to create and invent things.
Mm-hmm.
Even allow him to have more time on assignments.
One of my ideas was having Mark be like an assistant so that he's doing more stuff during the lesson rather than just listening. So he could hand out materials or like go get stuff from the back of the room or help during demonstrations, stuff like that.
I think that's a really good idea because then he might have more like a sense of purpose in the classroom, and that might encourage him to stay on task a little bit more.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, another idea I had was because he likes seeing the success, have some sort of like progress chart of things for him to pass off.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because then he can physically see what's in front of him,
Yeah.
what he's doing.
And then have him sit close to you during lessons too, so if you need to correct him, like you're not having to yell across the room or
Well, yeah,
it's not him.
you got to keep him away from the windows so he doesn't
Yeah.
get distracted and look outside or.
Another thing that I was thinking was maybe providing instructions with like pictures or like charts or something so that he can see it more visually since he does excel in art and things like that. That might help his understanding.
I put that down on mine too. That's something during instruction time so he can follow along or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really good too because he struggles with the reading, so this will help him like be on the same page as everyone else. I really like that. I said incorporate activities and games into the lessons.
And the thing is, like, if he's having a hard time, like, staying on task and maybe there needs to be, like, more breaks or something, or maybe even, like, the whole class. Because if he's getting distracted, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's the only one getting distracted in a long, like, instructional time. So maybe you have, brain breaks. There you go.
And then I said find small group-based lessons because I feel like the one-on-one instruction is going to be hard a lot of times, but small group-based I think he still would do well in because he'll have like the attention of the teacher.
Right.
But it's more like feasible in a classroom.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay. So which ones do we actually want to do? And for this part of the assignment, it was saying like when we decide, we can kind of like know if some of them will be more appropriate, like in the science classroom or the music classroom, or if they'll work in both.
Right. I think one of the first things we need to have on there is that the teacher needs to show patience with Mark, because that will definitely ensure that he will have success in the classroom.
Mm-hmm. And that could be in any of the classrooms.
Yeah, in any classroom.
So do we want to say like allow him more time on assignments?
Yes.
I think providing opportunities to create an event is going to be important.
Mm-hmm.
I think the small group lessons would be really good for him, just because we can't necessarily, well, we don't know if we can give him that one-on-one instruction all the time.
Right.
And I think that would be pretty manageable in science classroom. The music might be a little bit harder, but I think I could still make it work with like centers or something where they play different rhythms and stuff like that.
Right.
Right, yeah.
What else are you guys thinking? Oh, definitely the hands-on materials and movement.
Yes.
That's like a big one.
With that, incorporate activities and games into the lesson.
And let's see. I think having him like pass out stuff would help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Have him be the assistant. And with that would be so easy to incorporate like all of the whole class. So that way he doesn't stick out or anything like that.
Yeah, because you could have him take turns and just maybe have Mark be like a little bit more frequently taking turns, but not gonna like single him out and make him feel uncomfortable or stupid or whatever.
Right.
it's probably something that he would enjoy anyways.
Well, yeah, because it says that he loves learning and he loves being engaged. He just has a hard time staying engaged and stuff. So those little cues would be perfect for him.
Yeah. All right. Any other ones that you guys want to implement right now?
Maybe providing instructions with pictures.
Yeah. I think that will be used a lot in your guys' science classrooms. My music one, a lot of the instruction is like orally based. So I don't know if I'll have as many instructions with pictures, but I can definitely add some in as like cues for him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I remember in music class, like there was sometimes where there was like little animals as the like the music note. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah, I think
one time. So I mean, you could do that, and then he could be. I don't know. Like that would be exciting for a second grader.
And even maybe just physical demonstration in music class. So if you're like demonstrating how to play an instrument or something like that, I feel like he would be pretty good at that just because he's more of like a kinesthetic learner and he enjoys like PE and that sort of thing. So
yeah, and we're definitely getting into we're doing rhythm instruments, so we're gonna do lots of hands-on stuff now. So my main concern is like having the order, but I think if I have him be the assistant, it's gonna help a lot because he will be busy like passing stuff out or collecting stuff, so he's not gonna be messing around with the instruments, and so then we can actually play them when it's time to play them.
That's good.
And it can help in the demonstrations too. So
yeah.
Okay, how do we want to evaluate his progress?
I said a month, maybe a monthly visit with parents or a monthly meeting with parents to see how the progress is going. If anything is progressing. Yeah.
Yeah, because it seems like the parents are very aware of how he does in school because he tells them.
Right. It sounds like his
like
parents are really involved in his academic life, so I think that would be very valuable to both of them if there was that monthly meeting.
And maybe even like a more frequent meeting with the rest of his teachers too to see what's working and what's not working in the other settings.
Maybe
to see
like
if they can
every
adapt.
other weekly.
Is that's bi-weekly, I think?
Yeah.
Or bi-month. Semi-weekly? I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's bi-weekly. You're
Yeah,
fine.
So I'm just like, I always get like bi and semi mixed up.
Bi-weekly teacher team meetings. Okay. And even like as the teacher, you know, you can ask, like, is he having signs of that he's progressing? Is he showing more signs that, you know, more strength in each subject? You know, because like, I guess as a teacher, if you're implementing these things, you would know if he's putting more effort into being more on task.
Mhm.
So I don't know if you would, like,
Also,
as the teacher, want to have like weekly evaluations and then bi-weekly, you know, like, I don't know how we want to word that or if we want to put it in.
like just to see the progress and stuff.
Well, yeah, so then we have like the bi-weekly meetings with like the teacher team meetings, but then you as a teacher, like weekly can be like, oh, our you can just evaluate the progress of his strengths and then bring that to the teacher meeting.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay, and I think a good way to do that is to write it down because you have so much going on you're gonna forget. And that was one of the ideas I saw on the other guides was like it said like write an anecdotal summary at the end of it's at the end of each class, but it could be like at the end of the week, including what he did well and what he still needs to work on.
Has
Right,
to
at
be
his strengths and his needs.
plenty of documentation.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And that could even include like maybe some kind of like portfolio or something of assignments that he's completed so that you can keep like a visual, I guess, progression maybe of what kind of improvements he's making. But
Right.
Okay. Let's see. I'm thinking of how to word that. My brain is leaving me already. That's not good because it's only 8:30. Okay, and I think that will work better in the science and math classroom because I don't know how much like written assignments that I'll have in the music classroom because ours is mostly like performance based.
that's true.
I think that's good for the math and science classrooms.
Awesome.
All right. Go.
Do we have to record this one?
Really good, guys.
Do we have to record this one?
Yeah, I think that's it, and we just need to turn one